Gemini, the zodiac sign represented by the twins, is often known for its playful charm and intellectual depth. However, for those who have spent any significant amount of time around a Gemini, they can also be seen as one of the most frustrating and unpredictable signs of the zodiac. From their constant need for novelty to their tendency to shift opinions like the wind, there's something about a Gemini that drives people crazy. Whether it's in friendships, relationships, or work settings, their personality can create tension, and often, this leads to a reputation of being difficult or even hated. But is it all bad? Or is it just a series of misunderstood traits? In this video, we'll explore 11 reasons why Gemini often gets a bad rap and why so many people find it challenging to be around them. By the end, you'll better understand the unique aspects of Gemini's character that can leave others frustrated and wondering how to deal with them. 1. Gemini's unpredictability. One of the primary reasons people struggle with Geminis is their unpredictability. Imagine trying to make plans with someone who constantly shifts their opinions and mood without any warning. One moment, they're excited about an idea, and the next, they've completely changed their mind, leaving you in the dust. This ever-changing nature can make it almost impossible to rely on them, and for many, it's incredibly frustrating. They thrive on excitement and new challenges, which means they can easily jump from one idea to the next, leaving those around them scrambling to keep up. Whether it's at work, in friendships, or in relationships, this lack of consistency can leave others feeling unstable and exhausted. Their fluidity may seem refreshing at first, but over time, it's often exhausting for anyone who craves some level of certainty or predictability in their life. This inability to stay grounded in one place, one opinion, or one emotional state is what drives many people crazy and contributes to the feeling that being around a Gemini is like riding an emotional roller coaster. 2. Impatience and speed. Geminis are known for their incredible speed in everything they do. Whether it's in their work, social life, or even in decision-making, they want things to move quickly and efficiently. This urgency can be a blessing in some cases, as they often get things done before others even have a chance to catch up. However, for those around them, it can feel like a constant race. When you're with a Gemini, it can seem like they're always a step ahead, rushing through tasks and conversations with little patience for delays or inefficiency. This can leave others feeling overwhelmed or inferior as they struggle to keep up with Gemini's fast pace. Imagine trying to finish a project at a slower speed, or trying to enjoy a leisurely conversation, only to have a Gemini push you to speed things up. Their impatience can come across as dismissive, and it can make others feel like they're dragging their feet or not doing enough. For people who prefer a more relaxed pace, this urgency can quickly lead to frustration, making it difficult to keep up with Gemini's expectations and energy. And even though their efficiency often benefits them, the stress they cause for those around them can turn them into one of the most hated signs in the zodiac. 3. Emotional detachment in relationships. When it comes to relationships, one of the most challenging aspects of a Gemini is their emotional detachment. While they may be charming, affectionate, and even seem invested at first, they often struggle when it comes to deeper emotional commitment. Geminis are not fans of the traditional, emotionally intense connections that some signs crave. To them, relationships should be spontaneous, exciting, and free of the emotional baggage that can sometimes accompany long-term commitments. This leads to a sense of emotional distance in their romantic relationships. While they can easily engage in flirty, lighthearted conversations or enjoy fun dates, when things start to get too serious, they tend to pull away. This emotional distance can make it feel like you're constantly chasing after them, trying to keep their attention, while they seem to be pulling back and keeping their heart guarded. For people who seek security, emotional depth, and stability in their relationships, Gemini's tendency to avoid emotional vulnerability can be deeply frustrating. It's not that they don't care. It's just that they may not be ready to give as much of themselves as others might hope. This emotional detachment often leaves their partners feeling unimportant or unfulfilled, contributing to Gemini's reputation for being one of the most difficult signs to truly connect with on a deep, lasting level. 4. Emotional detachment in relationships. One of the most frustrating traits of a Gemini is their emotional detachment, especially in relationships. While Geminis are often charming, witty, and magnetic, when it comes to deeper emotional connection, they tend to hold back. They can seem distant and aloof, especially when things start getting serious. Their idea of a relationship is usually about excitement and novelty, rather than emotional depth and long-term commitment. For Geminis, the monotony of emotional closeness can feel stifling, so they avoid it, preferring a relationship that feels light, spontaneous, and free from heavy emotional expectations. This emotional distance can be extremely frustrating for their partners, who often feel as though they're always chasing after them, never truly getting the affection or emotional connection they crave. Geminis might flirt effortlessly and keep things exciting in the early stages, but once the relationship deepens, they tend to retreat, unwilling to provide the consistency or emotional support that others expect. This constant emotional push and pull can make their partners feel confused, neglected, or unimportant. For those who are looking for stability, trust, and commitment in a relationship, a Gemini's emotional detachment can leave them feeling frustrated and unfulfilled. 5. Deceptive charm. Geminis are famous for their ability to charm anyone they meet, but this charm can sometimes feel like a double-edged sword. On one hand, they are engaging, witty, and have an almost magical ability to draw people in. They can captivate a room with their infectious energy and sharp intellect. However, this charm is not always as genuine as it seems. Geminis often use their charisma to attract attention, but once they've captured someone's interest, they may quickly lose it, leaving the other person feeling abandoned. Their flirtatious nature, while fun at first, can lead to feelings of betrayal when Gemini moves on as quickly as they arrived. They thrive on novelty and excitement, so once the initial spark fades, they may grow bored and seek out the next adventure. People often fall for their charm and get swept up in their whirlwind personalities, only to be left wondering why things didn't last. This pattern of drawing others in with their charm and then pulling away can leave people feeling deceived and hurt. For those seeking a genuine, long-term connection, Gemini's ability to turn on and off their charm can feel like a betrayal, making them one of the most difficult signs to trust. 6. Independence turns into emotional coldness. Geminis are known for their fierce independence, and while this trait can be empowering, it often leads to emotional coldness in relationships. Over time, Geminis learn that depending on others for happiness or emotional fulfillment can be risky, so they develop a strong sense of self-reliance. While this makes them resilient, it also makes it difficult for others to connect with them on a deep emotional level. Their need for emotional independence often means they shut others out, keeping their feelings to themselves and avoiding vulnerability. In romantic relationships, this can be especially hard to deal with. While they may seem affectionate and engaging at first, once things get serious, they may pull away, prioritizing their personal space and freedom over emotional intimacy. Their emotional distance can make partners feel neglected or unimportant, leading to frustration. For those who value emotional connection and mutual support, Gemini's refusal to fully invest emotionally can leave them feeling rejected and unfulfilled. What starts as a self-protective instinct can eventually turn into emotional coldness, making it difficult for Gemini to form lasting, deep relationships with those who seek security and closeness. 7. Duality creates confusion. Geminis are often described as having a dual nature, and while this allows them to see both sides of every situation, it can also be a source of confusion for those around them. Their ability to understand multiple perspectives at once can make them seem insightful and wise, but it can also leave people unsure of where they truly stand. This duality often manifests as indecision, as Geminis can swing between opinions, moods, and decisions without warning. For others, this constant shifting can be frustrating. It's difficult to have a stable conversation with a Gemini because they might change their mind halfway through or take a different stance once they hear new information. This lack of consistency can make them appear unreliable or fickle, leaving people wondering if they can trust them. In relationships and friendships, this duality can lead to emotional exhaustion, as others find themselves trying to keep up with Gemini's constantly evolving viewpoints. It can also create a sense of unease, as those around Gemini may feel that they're never truly sure where they stand. For those who prefer stability and commitment to a single perspective, Gemini's shifting nature can be incredibly difficult to handle, making them one of the most confusing and unpredictable signs. 8. Constant need for novelty. Geminis are known for their restless spirits and their constant need for novelty. They thrive in environments that offer variety and excitement, constantly searching for new experiences, ideas, and challenges. While this trait can make them fascinating to be around in the short term, it can also be exhausting for those who are looking for stability. Gemini's desire for constant change means they quickly lose interest in things that become too routine or predictable. In relationships, this can be especially difficult to handle. What was once exciting and new can quickly become boring to a Gemini, leading them to seek out the next adventure, even if that means neglecting their current commitments. Their restless nature means they're always looking for something fresh, which can make people feel like they're constantly being left behind. For friends and partners, Trying to keep up with a Gemini's need for change can lead to feelings of frustration, as it often feels like nothing ever stays the same. Whether it's in their job, hobbies, or personal life, Gemini's hunger for novelty can make them appear flaky, unreliable, or disinterested. Their unwillingness to settle into routines or maintain long-term commitments can create tension with people who value stability, making them one of the most difficult signs to be around in the long run. 9. Expressiveness overload. Geminis are incredibly expressive individuals, and while this can be a positive trait in some situations, it can often become overwhelming for others. They wear their emotions on their sleeve, making sure that everyone around them knows exactly what they're feeling. Whether they're overly excited, deeply upset, or simply in a cheerful mood, they make sure to share it with the world. This constant emotional display can feel exhausting to those who are more reserved or prefer to keep their feelings to themselves. Gemini's dramatic outbursts, whether positive or negative, tend to be all-consuming, and their emotions can take center stage in any conversation or situation. For some people, this kind of emotional transparency might seem refreshing, but for others, it can feel like an emotional roller coaster that they're not prepared for. Gemini doesn't hold back. They amplify their feelings, making sure everyone feels their highs and lows. While some might find this charming, others can quickly become drained by the intensity of it all. Whether it's an over-the-top reaction to a minor inconvenience or an exaggerated expression of joy, Geminis need to make their emotions known at all times can make interactions feel emotionally taxing. This emotional overload can push people away, as they may feel that Gemini's emotional display is too much to handle, especially in environments that require calm and composure. 10. Extreme instability. One of the most frustrating traits of a Gemini is their extreme instability, which often makes them unpredictable and hard to understand. Known for their fluctuating moods and inconsistent behaviors, Geminis can change how they feel or react in an instant, creating confusion and tension for those around them. One moment they may be calm, cool, and collected, and the next, they may explode with emotion or act impulsively. This mental and emotional instability can leave people walking on eggshells, never sure of what to expect next. For those who crave stability in their relationships or work environments, this unpredictability can be exhausting and difficult to deal with. Geminis might give mixed signals or send conflicting messages, making it hard to trust them or know where they truly stand. The constant emotional ups and downs create a sense of unease, and this can lead others to feel emotionally drained or stressed when trying to connect with Gemini. Their inability to maintain a consistent emotional or mental state can make it challenging to build strong, dependable connections, and it often makes their relationships feel unstable. This extreme instability is what makes Gemini one of the most difficult and unpredictable signs in the zodiac. 11. Gemini's overthinking and overanalyzing. Geminis are also notorious for overthinking and overanalyzing every situation. This mental energy can be both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, their ability to see every angle of a problem makes them excellent problem solvers, but on the other hand, it often leads to unnecessary stress and indecision. They get caught up in their own thoughts, going over scenarios and possibilities repeatedly, which can make them seem unpredictable and, at times, unreliable. People around them may feel exhausted by Gemini's constant questioning or second-guessing, especially when they struggle to make even the simplest decisions. This overanalyzing nature often results in a lack of closure or a sense of unresolved tension, as Gemini is always wondering, what if? This tendency can also make relationships with them feel unstable, as they rarely allow themselves to settle into one clear choice, leaving others frustrated and confused. In conclusion, Gemini's traits can be a double-edged sword. While their charm, wit, and energy make them exciting and captivating, their unpredictability, emotional distance, and constant need for novelty can make them exhausting and frustrating to be around. From their emotional coldness in relationships to their extreme instability, it's no wonder that Gemini often gets a bad rap. For those who value consistency, emotional depth, and stability, the unpredictable and often overwhelming nature of Gemini can feel like too much to handle. However, it's important to remember that these traits are part of what makes Gemini unique. They are a sign full of complexity, constantly seeking to explore, grow, and challenge themselves. While this makes them difficult for some to relate to, it also means they bring excitement and energy to everything they do. So, whether you love or hate them, one thing is clear: Geminis are never boring, and their presence is always felt.